Recording. Then you don't need to look at that face. We can look at this one. That's not a face. First, let us begin. Ignore that. I don't know what that is. With questions. Oh, what is that? Get. Okay, so you at home or you at here, you in class, you would need to be able to see this. It's almost like it's the first time I'm doing this every single time. All right, here we go. Now, I'm recording, yes. So ignore that, like I said. Are there questions from yesterday? From anybody? Once, twice, three times gone? All right, factorial notation. Now we'll share a screen. Oh, Gavin, he usually comes. Any ideas?
Well, I think because he already took.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I've done that as well. So.
True. So those of you that are ahead may work on ahead. Those of you, and by working on ahead, you can kind of study and like do reviews and things like that, or hang out. If you're extra bored, let me know. Factorial is the product of all positive integers less than or equal to n. So it ends at 1 here because that's a positive integer. 0 is not a positive integer. So, and also if you do all this work to get into multiplying 0, that was a waste of time. So it always goes down by 1 starting wherever that factorial is. So you will see questions that are like n minus 3 factorial. That means following that is n minus 4, then n minus 5. Till it gets to 1. If you have trouble finding the factorial button on your calculator, let me know. That was you that had to dig for it. Yeah, for some of you, it'll be behind certain buttons. It's not just right on the screen. I took this one bike maintenance courses a while ago, and I often think of this with calculators because I'm a nerd. When we were learning how to do things to the bike, changing parts and tune-ups and blah, blah, blah. The guy that was leading kept saying, repeat after me, there is no standardization in the bike industry, meaning like the sizes were always different. Some were metric, some were imperial, like everything, like you couldn't just use one tool all the time. And I often think about that with the calculators. There's no standardization. They're different all the time. Is that, oops. Emma, are you taking notes right now? I can't remember if you've got this or not. See, do you see that? It shows that she's talking, but I can't hear her. Let's try it this way. Emma, say something now, sister.
I'm taking notes.
Okay. Can you let me know when you're done taking this down, please?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, well. See, that's weird. Couldn't hear you when this was bigified. All right, so you never heard the word bigified before? That's embarrassing. Okay, actually, what did it say I was going to do? what examples? Well, some examples. All right. Paper. So, well, here's the thing. I want to tell a funny story, but there's a backstory involved, and I don't want it to get weird. And now that I've said that, wow, hey, did I stack the deck? Do you guys know I'm not coming back next year? Okay, so some of you heard, some of you didn't, right? See, it's a safe group. We don't have to go through the teary stuff because you guys are leaving too. Anyways, so I was tutoring this kid last night, and he goes to Kelvin, K-E, and I know his mom a little bit. And so we're just chatting. I said, hey, Max, you got any teachers retiring next year? And he goes, I don't think so. Why? I said, oh, because I'm looking for a job. And he's a super chill kid. Like he doesn't He's just casual. And so after we end the lesson or whatever, his mom texts me. She's like, "Are you okay? Max says you're going through a midlife crisis." I'm like, "What?" She says, he says, "Yeah, he just quit his job." It's like, yeah, not today. Okay, anyways, examples with solutions. So question number 1, I'm going to kind of jump through these. I won't do them all. 3 factorial. So basically what that means is 3 times 3 minus 1 times 3 minus 2. Now, I don't expect you to write it out this way, but this is what it means. And 3 minus 2 is 1. So it's like 3 times 2 times 1. When you get to 1, you stop. So 3 factorial is 6. Yeah. Yeah, because there's a very good chance you might have something like, 15 factorial over like 2 factorial or something. And I'm not expecting you to do 15 times 14 times blah, 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 blah. So let's jump to number 3. This is all on page 277, by the way. Number 3 says 7 minus 4 factorial. I kind of hinted at this before. 7 minus 4 factorial is 3 factorial. At this stage, you don't need the brackets. 3 factorial is 6. Some like this, you'll find you're going to do them in your head and you're just going to remember. 4 factorial, 4 times 3 times 2. You don't need to kind of go through the step in your head of times 1 because that doesn't change anything. Number 4, so here, this one is more interesting, and this is where you would need a calculator. So 7 factorial minus 4 factorial. I think the reason the textbook gives this as an example is because it doesn't want you to think 7 minus 4, oh, it's 3 factorial. It's not. 7 factorial, calculator. Here, see if I can do it. 7 times 6 is 42, times 5 is 210, times 4 is 840, times 3 is 25, I was trying, 2520, times 2, 5,040. Oh, it's right. I don't need that stinking calculator. So what that is what did I say? 5,040 minus, and then 4 factorial. 4 times 3 is 12, times 2 is 24. So minus 24, this would be 5016. I'm doing it in my head. I'm not expecting you to. There's a question coming up, it might be the next lesson, where I gave 6 different people 6 different answers because I was rushing and doing it in my head. And I feel shame. That's number 4. Okay, 5. Now here's good. This is important when we're doing canceling. So 10 factorial over 8 factorial. Now, a way to write this, because anytime you're doing dividing, if you can cancel and make it easier, like this is the same with polynomials and all the rest of it, then life is better. So I want to find an 8 factorial on the top. 10 factorial is 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. But in this case, if I work it down to 10 times 9 times 8 factorial, stop there because the 8 factorial implies 8 times 7 times 6, blah, 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 over 8 factorial. These are all multiplying, which means we can cancel. 10 times 9, 90. Making sense? Emma, you're good?
Yep.
I don't know why sometimes, maybe screen sharing I can't hear. Maybe it muffles people so they don't interrupt the speaker or something. Number 5. Number 6, same idea. I don't need to do all these questions, but it looks like I'm doing most. 20 factorial over 18 factorial. That looks crazy. Massive number just for funsies. 20 factorial. Where's my factorial button? 20 factorial is 2.4 times 10 to the 18. So that's a big number. The good news is 20 times 19 times 18 factorial. We can cancel those 18s. 20 times 19 is 380. Cool, cool, cool. Number 7, these are the trickier ones for sure. So number 7 is n plus 1 factorial equals 2n factorial. Now, at first blush, it's like, what in the world? How does this make sense? Look for things to cancel. so n factorial is n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 times n, and so on and so on and so forth. N plus 1 starts a step before this. So n plus 1 factorial is the same as saying n plus 1 times n factorial. Because each one goes down by 1. I could keep going and saying times n minus 1 times n minus 2 times n minus 3, but I can stop here because we have n factorial on the other side. So those n factorials cancel. Now we're left with n plus 1 equals 2. And through some very tricky, difficult math, you subtract 1 from both sides. You've got n equals 1. Which is easy enough to check. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 factorial is 2. 2 times 1 factorial is 2. We're good. Emma, am I going too fast?
Nope, it's all good.
Are you good with this? Like I can change the page?
Yep.
So much louder than. Oh, hello. I want to see who that is. Make sure they get a late slip. Oh, Sam, I left you in charge of class yesterday and today you just show up late. Sorry, I forgot to send out the Zoom. I don't even know if you can hear me yet. Sam, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot to send out the Zoom earlier. 8, but this is all being recorded. 8, so we have 3 factorial, n factorial all over n minus 1 factorial equals 30. Again, look for something to cancel. In this case, n factorial is n times n minus 1 times n minus 2, blah, blah, blah. I can cancel with the n minus 1s. So 3 factorial times n minus 1 factorial all over n minus 1 factorial was cancel. So we're left with 3 factorial, which is 3 times 2 times 1 times n equals 30. 6n equals 30, n equals 5. Cool. Sam, have you been working ahead at all? I can't remember.
I worked a little bit on this lesson, but not very far.
Oh, okay. Then really, you haven't probably missed too much of like today. This is maybe the most important part. But if you did, it's recorded and it'll be posted shortly. But that's the end of me doing. It kind of worked out, you know, like these first 2 lessons are a little bit short, and with chapel, didn't need a ton of time. Any questions from Sam or Emma or anybody else before I end the meeting? No, we're good. Sam and Emma, you're good?
Yep, I'm good.
Yep.
Cool beans. All right, friends. See you tomorrow.